What the hell is capitalism? When you hear the word capitalism, you might think that it is a boring economics theory, and why should we learn theory when we can see Doctor Strange fighting a childless mother who's almost as badass as Kali Pari? I get it. But capitalism is not a boring thing to know. Capitalism is how the world works, which means it affects all of us in ways we don't even understand. The world seems random and chaotic. People bang plates to get rid of a virus, but then don't go out and get a vaccine for themselves? It seems bizarre, but it actually works in a very rigid way, a way that we are not taught anywhere. Hi, I'm Raghav, and you're watching Behuda, where we talk about things considered too stupid by our schools, parents, politicians, and celebrities. In our very first video, we will try to understand capitalism. You might think that it's about being rich, or having a boss, or having a lot of things to buy in your free time. Well, no. People can be rich even in socialism, which is kind of the opposite of capitalism. Also, you definitely don't need capitalism to have a boss. We all have dads and daddies. Also, we have been buying stuff way before capitalism even existed. Kashmiri shawls were being bought in Rome like 2000 years ago. So if capitalism is none of that, what is it? And why should we care? We'll learn all that today. And we'll also learn how to become a billionaire. To understand capitalism, we have to understand how we think. Consider clothes. This sweater used to be wool. Long ago, someone looked at a sheep and thought, I want to wear what she's wearing. So they took the wool and tried sticking it to themselves, and it did not work. And eventually, that person realized, oh, I need to knit this wool into a sweater. So they had to do some labor, some mehnat to increase the natural value of wool. They turned something valuable but easily available in nature into something more valuable for all humans. So when someone pays 2000 rupees for that sweater, they are paying like 1100 for this mehnat and the other 900 for the kudrat, the natural value. So to summarize, it is with labor that natural value becomes more valuable. When a farmer does mehnat on soil and seed, it becomes food. When a coder does mehnat in a coding language, it becomes a program. When a carpenter does mehnat on a piece of wood, it becomes a chair. Labor can be done for many reasons. Maybe you are curious.
Ui, kakakai, maru, wakakaku. Mika to soft toy.
Labor can also be done because you're inspired.
Makakui. Mika to.
But most often, labor or mehnat is done for survival. This seed becomes 1,000 seeds and I can eat 999 of them and still have one to grow it into more seeds? Sounds like mehnat, but I guess I will farm because I don't want to die. Fun and not at all traumatic that I need to work to live and I did not even choose to be born. Look, doing labor for survival isn't really fun. It's backbreaking. No one ever says that their motto is to toil the lands or be Bob the Builder. It is hard work. It is very hard work and very harsh work. It's not fun at all. But we need farmers and builders to survive. So what did people who didn't like farming decide to do? Well, the nicer ones decided to trade. Hey farmer, I'm really hungry and I want some grain, but I don't really like farming, so I made this hat of cabbage leaves. If you like it, maybe you can give it to me for some grain. I like it and I don't have time to make it, so sure, here's some grain and that hat I will take it. Wait a second, did I just invent poetry? So to avoid one kind of mehnat, you now had people doing some other kind of mehnat. They'd make different things and then trade them. Soon, we had a society with a nice little market where people could barter or buy and sell things they liked. But even then, there were some people, fully capable of working hard, who decided not to. They neither farmed nor traded. With a nice mix of their smartness and some violence, they devised a way to not do any mehnat, yet eat the fruits of mehnat. How did they get food if they didn't grow it or trade it for anything? By forcing people to give them the fruits of their mehnat. They used their smartness and a mix of violence to steal people's labor. Initially, it was done through patriarchy. Are you biologically more free because you don't carry babies in you for 9 months? Is your time better spent turning soil to SOY coins? Introducing patriarchy. With a bit of slapping and scaring, you can now force a woman to listen to you, to give you cooked food and kids free for life. Now comes with dowry, wo bhi bilkul muft. As society advanced, forcefully stealing mehnat became more advanced too. Your wife or daughter was just one person to steal mehnat from. What if you could steal the mehnat of 1,000 people at once? You could become 1,000 times richer. This was the start of organized religion and feudalism. People have always been spiritual, they have always treasured nature and love. But thousands of years ago, some lazy people became priests and they organized with some violent people who became the kings. Together, they manipulated the spiritual beliefs of thousands of people, positioned themselves as the closest to God, and turned it into organized religion, with books and rules with which they scared people so that they would think it is their duty to be exploited. Give me your mehnat for good karma, or you will never find liberation from your misery. It says so in the book, which only I am allowed to interpret, by the way. However, in the modern world, patriarchy is not that harsh, and religious violence is not that attractive. So the lazy, smart and violent minority needs a new way to steal our mehnat. They have bigger dreams. They can now steal 1 billion people's mehnat, become 1 billion times richer and do whatever they want. Like traveling to space by not letting their workers get even bathroom breaks. So a few hundred years ago, these bunch of really rich, really smart people thought if value is created by nature, by kudrat, and if that value is increased by labor, by mehnat, what if we own all of the nature? So there is nothing left for the majority to do the mehnat on. What if we can make the majority depend on us to do work? What if that's the only option we leave them? Otherwise they don't survive. So the rich paid the politicians and rulers of the time to carve the world into little borders called private property. Private because earlier it used to be common land, common lakes, common mountains. Suddenly, land became private, which meant if there was oil under that land, it was yours. If there was iron under that land, it was yours. Every tree grown on that land was yours. Every factory built on that land was yours. Every wooden chair built with those trees in those factories was yours. A few thousand rich people now owned the world. East India Company that soon colonized millions of people in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh and more was started by just 125 stockholders with their office in a small unrecognized street in London. The 99% of the people who suddenly owned nothing were forced out of their land. Having nowhere to go, they started selling their labor, their mehnat for small amounts of returns called salaries. They became a worker. You grow 1,000 seeds, you get 20, and the boss keeps the rest of the 980. Workers built the chairs in their factories they had built, but they didn't own it. They couldn't sell it. Workers do everything. They build everything, but they own nothing. Because a few people decided it is not fun to work and it's better to force people to work for them. Force them because they have no other way to survive. Because the whole world is now the property of the rich. And that's why you don't like Mondays. You have to work for survival at a place where you own nothing. You have no say in anything. You are just a replaceable machine. Because 100 years ago, some powerful lazy people developed a scheme for all rich lazy people to exploit helpless hard working people. What's even worse is we don't even need to work to survive anymore. There's enough automation to help all the farmers and laborers to make food and clothing and things for all of us. By working much less, we can use machines to get much more. And those of us who are unemployed have no option left to survive. Everything that I discussed today was not this simplistic, but this is the people's history of the world. Over time, we will go into more detail into these topics. We will understand how capitalism developed, how it evolved, and what stage of it are we in right now. We will soon begin to see that many of our problems, like pollution, unemployment, and intolerance, can be attributed to capitalism. But that's all for later. I'm trying with the launch of this channel to give you one video each week. But I need your help to be able to continue doing this. You can subscribe to my newsletter for free, but you can also pay me just $1.99 a month and support me. The link is in the bio. If you have any questions regarding what we just talked about, leave them in the comments. All the comments are held for review and I'll be answering your queries tomorrow. Also, if you're an artist of any kind and believe in the values this channel stands for, fill up the Google form to be a part of the Behuda Club so we can build a community and collaborate to create art that can truly change the world. That's all for today, folks. Thank you so much for watching. You can also check out my other channel where I made a coming out of the closet video just a month ago. I'll be sharing more of my creative writing work on that channel. See you next time. Till then, stay curious, stay Behuda. Bye.